Baseball fans, you're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
Speaking of being successful in the year 2024, these are my picks to click for the year 2024 with the Atlanta Braves. So let's go on and get into it. The first one, this one may surprise you because I'm going all in number one here. It's none other than Shawn Murphy. And again, it may surprise you, but if you've watched throughout spring training, it will not surprise you. This guy is locked in. 355 average over spring, 3 homers, 12 games played. So in 12 games, he's got 3 homers, and he's holding a 355 average. That's pretty darn good. I also think, being that this is his second year with the team, we're going to see much like what we saw with Matt Olson in his second year, which was last year. I think he's going to break out. He's going to be comfortable with this team. And I think we're really going to get what we paid for here out of Shawn Murphy because, yes, he had a great season. Arguably the best so far in his career in batting average, on-base percentage, and homers, not to mention he was an all-star. I expect he has an even better year in 2024. Now, number 2, who might that be? Well, it'll be none other than your opening day starter, Spencer Strider, who was dominant in spring training. Sub-1 ERA, 13.9 strikeout per 9. 4th in Cy Young Award voting last year. The fact that he's developed a new pitch gives me a lot of hope that he could be even better than last year, and I know a lot of people may just say that. I really think Strider is going to, well, no pun intended, is going to make strides throughout 2024. I think this might be his year to become the complete pitcher that we've always known him to be capable of. I think this is that year. I think this is that year where he's actually going to be in the conversation, maybe even in the conversation of the finalists for the Cy Young Award in the National League. Strider, again, dominant so far in spring training. I expect him to really have a good year this year. And to be honest with you, the fact that the Braves are rolling with him as the opening day starter tells me a lot. They believe in him, especially when you have Max Fried on the mound. Yes, you could argue that Max Fried didn't carry the load as much as Strider did last year. Either way, Max Fried has been your guy in Atlanta. You're picking Strider over him. I thought that was a big statement. I expect big things out of Spencer Strider in 2024. Now, number 3, I could not pick picks to click without picking the reigning MVP. I mean, what would that look like, right? 40-70 season, the first to ever do it. Also the first to ever do 40-60, the first to ever do 30-60, if I'm not mistaken. He made all kinds of history last year. He's been limited in spring. He had some scares injury-wise. They wanted to check him out. I actually asked him, hey, Ronald, what's your biggest goal this season? A lot of you may have seen that short. It's on the channel. But when I asked him that, I was expecting, hey, I went 40-70 last year. Why not make it 50-80? Why not make it 50-100? I got this. I want to stay healthy. And when I sat and thought about it, why wouldn't he want to do that, right? Because if you think back a couple of years ago, back in 21 when he got hurt, before that he was performing very well. And when he came back, he's been phenomenal. Not in when he first came back, but last year when he was fully healthy and you knew he was fully healthy, he could not be stopped. I expect him to do even bigger things than what he did last year. And he's got a little bit stiffer competition for the MVP now that Shohei Ohtani is in the National League. I still think Acuna could win it because think about this. He was the first to ever do 40-70 last year. What if he's the first to ever do 50-100? And you may be sitting there going, Tyler, that's not going to happen. Other people have gotten 100 stolen bases. And when you think about the rules that runners have to their advantage now, if you've seen the new blocking rule for second baseman, Francisco Lindor got caught on it the other day. Whether or not you agree with it or not, it's going to help runners. And I think Acuna took full advantage of the leadoff rule of the pitch, the throwing back to first rule last year. I think he'll take full advantage of the blocking rule this year. I think he's going to be very aggressive throughout this entire season on the base paths. He's got every right to be. If I'm the Braves, I do not give him a stop sign. I let him pick it. They did that for Otis Nixon back in the day, and he put up records as well. But again, he's been limited in spring. I expect him to want to make a statement early on in the season. A lot of people are asking who's going to hit the home run, who's going to hit the first homer for the Braves this year. I don't see any reason why it couldn't be Ronald Acuna Jr. in the first at bat. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I think Acuna, again, has every possibility of doing bigger and better things in 2024 than he did in 2023. There's no reason in my eyes why he couldn't go 50-100. A few years ago, he said he wanted to go 50-50. He's already gotten higher in that on the stolen bases. I think he can get another 10 homers. I think he can get another 30 stolen bases. And it'll all just depend on how aggressive he is and, if he gets the right pitches to hit. But I think the league is well aware of what he can do, but I don't think they can stop him at all. So Acuna, that's my number 3 on Picks to Click. Let's go into number 4, and that will be none other than the center fielder, Michael Harris II. And this is an interesting one because, you might be looking at this going, well, Tyler, of course, Michael Harris is. He's a former Rookie of the Year. He's had a great spring, 333 average. That's once every third, by the way, if you're not good at fractions. 3 homers, and he's already been quoted for some goals. Mark Bowman got this quote from him. I'd like to be an all-star and finally win the Gold Glove, which why he hasn't yet is debatable, but he wants to win the World Series. He wants to get a Silver Slugger. I mean, those are, a lot of goals for 1 year. We've seen others do it, but it's a lot of goals. To be honest with you, I'll settle for the Gold Glove because the way that guy plays the outfield is phenomenal, but offensively speaking, I think this is his year to break out. And you might be sitting there going, well, sure, but why do you think that? I'll tell you why. We've already heard Brian Snitker say it's time for Harris to get out of the 9 hole and move up. He's a professional hitter. He can hit lefties and righties. I mean, we know what he can do, but now I think his power numbers might take an uptick. And you're probably sitting there going, well, why do you think that? Well, consider this. He's been in the 9 hole. He's had Ronald Acuna Jr., the MVP, batting behind him for the majority of his career. The mindset of that as opposed to batting before Jared Kelenic or batting before an Orlando Arcia is different because if I have Acuna batting behind me, I'm trying to get on base, right? And Michael Harris has been very good at that. I think you put him 6th in the lineup, 7th in the lineup, he may be looking deep. Because if you put him 6th, he's following Marcell Ozuna. That's the difference. And I think his power numbers may take an uptick. I'd be curious to see if that happens. But Michael Harris II is my number 4 pick to click. I think he may really take a step forward because this is his 3rd year in the league. This is his time that he's no longer the kid. He's a permanent fixture in an Atlanta uniform. I expect him to be much more of a component on the offense than he already has been. And he's already been a really great player, really throughout defense, offense, special teams, however you want to look at it. He's been phenomenal. I expect him to do more of the same, if not better, this year. Number 5 is going to be the one that a lot of you guys, some of you may expect it, but if you've watched spring training, Forrest Wall. We got to talk about this guy because he has been absolutely phenomenal in spring. We've talked about him a bunch. I couldn't wait to talk to him when I got to spring training. 308 average. At one point, he was hitting north of 4. 3 homers. That led the team, tied with Michael Harris, Austin Riley, Shawn Murphy, and a bunch of others. But really, the key here for him, you see there at the bottom, it says elite speed. He's always had that. Last year, he made the postseason roster. You could argue just for that. But in the offseason this year, he made adjustments on his swing. And boy, did they pay off. So far, at least. We'll see how it goes in the regular season. Spring training doesn't tell all. But what he's done so far with these adjustments has been nothing short of phenomenal. And I actually asked him about those at spring training, and here's what he had to say. You've always had really good speed, but your bat's taken a really big uptick lately. What's been the adjustment, and how are you looking to continue that?
This offseason I made a few adjustments mechanically to my swing. It's something that I've been trying to build off of in camp, and then my goal is to continue to build off that throughout the year. But just making sure I'm moving well mechanically, and then just sticking with my routine and continuing to get better.
Being with a team like the Braves, who last year put up all kinds of crazy offensive numbers, how does that help you, and how does that, the chain through the lineup, how does that help you?
I think it's awesome for me, especially with my speed. I don't have to do too much. If I get on, chances are someone behind me will drive me in, or I can steal a base and get in a scoring position. But it really allows, me, I don't have to do too much, keep it simple, just get on base and then let someone behind me drive me in.
Forrest Wall, 5th pick to click. What a talent he's going to be, hopefully, for the Atlanta Braves. Elite speed. If his bat's there, I expect great things out of Forrest Wall. And really what it comes down to for him is, can he continue this into the regular season? Can he continue this throughout the entire year? Because it seemingly came out of nowhere for Forrest. I mean, you talk about last year, we knew he was fast. And then this spring, he breaks out with 3 homers, 308 batting average. You can't really ask for anything else to earn a spot in spring, and he was able to do it. So credit to him. But really, those are my picks to clicks. Again, Shawn Murphy, Michael Harris II, Forrest Wall, of course Ronald Acuna Jr., and of course your opening day starter Spencer Strider. I expect big things out of him this year, and hopefully we get some big things out of him on Friday night.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.